Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is your boy Shaq Cook. Welcome back to another episode, a fresh episode of, that's right, Keeping It Real with Shaquille, where we inquire to inspire. Guys, thank you so much for supporting this show since day one. I tell you, we are very happy. This show has been growing, and it's because of your support. Tonight, you guys are in for a special treat. But before I jump into it, make sure that you guys are ordering your t-shirts, your Keeping It Real with Shaquille t-shirts. There's purpose in your pain. Make sure that you guys are putting your orders in. I will be shipping them, okay, for a small fee, just a small shipping fee, whether you do standard or, express, or even do priority mail. So just let me know, okay? And we're going to have more shirts coming in just a few weeks, all right? And so make sure that you guys are contacting me for my services, okay? Professional modeling, acting, also motivational speaking, and right now, I'm doing one-on-one sessions for entrepreneurship, and it's going really great. So, guys, I'm looking forward to giving back to the community, and this is the way how to do it for me. Last but not least, make sure that tonight, right now as you're watching, to be posting questions, because at the end of the show, we will have a Q&A session, and I have this lovely young lady with me who cannot wait to answer your questions. So, without further ado, I do not want to waste any more time. I want to jump right into it. Guys, tonight, you have just the privilege to hear from this lovely young lady. I mean, probably future president of the United States, to be honest, the way how I feel about her. But just a quick background. I met her a few years ago, and I promise you, from the moment I met her, I knew that she was something special. I knew that she was going places. And she even challenged me, okay? And I'm like, just a few years older than her. But still, she challenged me and what I'm doing with my life and my career. So, guys, please give a warm welcome to the owner and founder of Cloud 11 Hair Care, which this is right here, president of YLWA Lead. No, it's YW Lead. President of YW Lead. I don't know where the A came from, but we make mistakes on live. But president of YW Lead and treasurer of FBLA. She's currently a senior in high school with a 4.26 GPA, and colleges will be blessed to even have her on the campus. Guys, please give a warm welcome to none other than Bryonna Elliott. What's going on, Bree?
Hey.
Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Well, hey, how's it feel? You're finally here.
Feels good.
Feels good?
Nice, yeah.
All right, well, Drake said started from the bottom, now we're here, but I don't think you started from the bottom. I think you started from the top, and you're just taking it even further than that.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah, so, I mean, just tell me. So tell me, what's been going on with you?
Senior year.
Yeah?
It's really exciting. We're getting down to the wire. Currently, the most recently, we've been on spring break, so
okay.
Been relaxing, everything like that. But yeah, there's no days off, so still doing homework.
Yeah.
Still working on my business every day.
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff. So yeah.
So doing homework, working on a business, and right now, like you said, you're a senior in high school,
yep.
And everybody knows that senior year is the most stressful year. And you're one individual who has a lot going on. So how do you manage all of that?
That's a good question. I would definitely have to say my mom helps a lot. Yes, my mom helps a lot. But I mean, it's just a matter of figuring out what you're gonna do, when you're gonna do it, and doing it when you say you're gonna do it.
That's true.
That's the only way I'm making it through, and staying sane,
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
So now college is right around the corner. Obviously, this coming fall, which is a few months away in August, you will be in college now. I don't know if you want to tell me where you're thinking about going, but at least tell us, what are you thinking about pursuing, and what do you want to do with it?
I plan on pursuing biology as a major with a pre-med track.
Okay.
So, yes, I want to eventually become a cardiothoracic surgeon.
Wow. So that sounds very complicated. And honestly, I can't even pronounce that, so I'm not going to try to and embarrass myself on live camera. But, just tell me, what does the Cardi B? Who? Cardi what?
Cardiothoracic surgeon.
All right, what does that individual do?
A cardiothoracic surgeon basically will operate and help, I guess. It's a doctor for the thoracic area, which is the heart and lungs and everything in that area of the body.
Wow. So that means if I ever have any heart issues, even if I have a broken heart, that means that you can you can help me, right?
Something like that.
Okay. I mean, just in case if my dreams decide to break my heart one day, I can go see her in the hospital, and I can probably get a discount. So I mean, that is something that is very unique, and honestly I've never heard of that before. Mm-hmm. Silly me, but now going into college. And you actually have your own business right now, senior year of high school. So let's talk about your business, Cloud 11 Hair Care, which, guys, you see this? We have it stacked here on the table. But I want to talk to you about it. So tell me, how did this start?
So it all started summer of 2015.
Yeah.
And, I was just being a teenager, going to the beach, going to amusement parks, all that kind of stuff with my friends, and not really paying attention to my hair. And so I would go do whatever I was doing, go in the pool, whatever, come home, take a shower, and just throw it up into a bun. And at the end of the summer, my hair was like, hold up, wait, what? And so, long story short, it broke off really badly. And I recognized that it was a combination of not taking care of it, as well as just using products that weren't good for it.
Yeah.
So I decided to go back to the basics. What do I know is proven to be good for African American hair? And it was a lot of trial and error, but I threw together the ingredients that I knew were good for my hair. And long story short, I came up with this product. I started using it, then my mom started using it, then my sister started using it, then my grandma, then my grandpa, then my cousins. And everyone started using it, and they're like, you should really do something with this. So then that is when I got involved with the Young Entrepreneurs Academy, which really helped me put an idea into motion. They helped me formulate a business plan, a elevator speech, all that kind of stuff, and really launch my business.
Wow. So altogether, you're looking at it took a few years, and as you mentioned, it said trial and error. Mm-hmm. About how long do you think it took for you to find those final ingredients?
I think so. I started around August, and I finally had the product that you can purchase now around February.
So from August to February.
Yeah, it's about 6 months.
Okay, so about half a year.
Yeah.
And so now something that is very huge, especially with business and entrepreneurship, is consistency and trial and error, but not giving up in the process.
Right.
And I know that you mentioned that you tried so many different products, and you finally got to the niche. What it is, this is what it is, this is what it's going to be. But during that process of figuring out what it was going to be, talk about the importance of being consistent and not giving up. Because I'm pretty sure that you had some days and some nights you were like, I want to say forget this.
Yeah. So I think me being in the Young Entrepreneurs program definitely did help me to stay consistent and to just keep pushing, because I knew that the next Tuesday I was gonna have to have something to show for my work.
Yeah.
And so aside from my personal drive, I also had my parents looking at me like, okay, what you got? And then I also had the multiple teachers that I had within the program like, okay, what you got?
Right.
So I had a lot of checkpoints that I had to, I guess, check in with to make sure that I was being consistent and doing what I needed to do. And then aside from that, I just knew I was able to see the bigger picture.
Yeah.
And I was able to see what I knew that I wanted for myself, for my company, what God wanted for me, my company.
Right.
And so Yeah.
Wow. And so you mentioned something that was very key. You had people in your corner that were constantly pushing you.
Yep.
And that's what I call accountability. Yep. And so I realized how important accountability is. In fact, and we're going to talk a little bit more about this later, but your father kept me accountable to this show when I felt like, giving this show up, a few weeks ago with, passing my father. And when things get tough and challenging, it's very important to have the right people in your corner.
Yep.
And so how do you think that keeping the right people in your corner, just talk about a little bit about the importance of that, because it's very easy to have or be surrounded by the wrong individuals. And that can take you and your plan completely left. So just talk about the importance of having the right people in your life to keep you accountable.
Yeah. So I do think I'm very blessed to have a really dense support system in every aspect of my life, my education, my business, everything like that. And so I think how that has benefited me and definitely pushed me is that it just, number one, they're my number one supporters. So whenever I feel like, oh, I'm not getting more than 25 likes on Instagram, oh, like this, that, whatever, I know there's at least 25 people who are supporting me, who really do want to see me thrive. It also, like you said, it gives me accountability when I feel like sleeping in or not doing my homework. I don't know. There's someone to come to me and be like, Bryonna, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Are you doing what you're supposed to be doing? Are you doing what you want? Are you doing what you need to do to make sure you are going to have what you want to have in the future? All that kind of stuff. So, like you said, accountability. It really helps with my self-esteem. I would definitely say that. I think I've pretty much always been a pretty confident person.
Right.
But I think that has a lot to do with my support system, because
Absolutely.
I don't know, they're just very, very encouraging.
Yeah.
Very all that.
Yeah. That's awesome. And being in business, and I'm a young entrepreneur myself. How do you remain focused on the goal and not so much completely focused on making money? And I'm going to elaborate on that question a little bit, because so many times in the field of business, we hear it's about money, it's about money, it's about money. And your idea, your business started with something that will help people. Something that will help people of color in their hair, to keep it natural, to keep it looking good, to keep it healthy. And that is a very great cause. But now you turn this cause into a business that brings in revenue. And so how do you remain focused on your purpose and vision without allowing the finances to overlap that?
So I think it really does go back to a lot of what I learned in the Young Entrepreneurs Academy, but just something that I've learned even throughout having my own business. You can't and you will not sell a product that you're not passionate about.
True.
So if it's about making money for you, if it's just about making money for you, you're not going to sell what you are trying to sell, just because people can see that.
Yeah.
People can see when you're not being authentic in your cause. And that's something that I've learned and also helped to teach other people through the YW Lead program that I'm a part of. One of our main pillars is authenticity, because being authentic in what you really want to do, and if all you want to do is make money, I mean that's on you. Yeah, but customers are gonna notice that. And so I think that being passionate, me already having a passion for hair from the beginning, it really did help me to be successful in my business, because my customers know that I care about my hair, I care about your hair, and I want people to be educated about their hair.
Wow. Wow, you hit a very, very, very important point, that you have to care about what you're doing.
Yep.
And you're doing what you love and something that you're passionate about. and that's helping you as far as moving forward and growing your business. Now you mentioned, now help me say this because I messed this thing up before. It's YW Lead.
Yep.
Okay, so YW Lead, you gave them a lot of credit for helping you be successful where you are now. Mm-hmm. So talk about how you got involved with YW Lead and how you became president.
Okay, so basically what YW Lead is a partnership program with my high school and our local YWCA. And so YW Lead basically stands for Young Women Lead. And it's a program that I didn't mean to get involved in, if that makes sense. I quite literally got involved in it by accident. So I started going to this club with my friend Chandler called Natural High, and it was just basically a club where we discussed different ways to get high off life as opposed to doing drugs,
right,
drinking alcohol, all that kind of stuff. And that kind of just morphed into YW Lead, and I stayed consistent with it. We just had a select few of us who did stay consistent with it, and I guess through my consistency, I was elected president.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So, in other words, consistency is key, and the key is what unlocks the door, so they can get in. So, guys, pay attention. Consistency is key. So Bryonna, she stayed consistent with what she was doing, and that eventually gave her the key to open the door to become president. So plenty of people who are watching the show may want to be a president of an organization or a company, and you might have to start from ground zero and work your way up. But part of the process is being consistent, and there's a huge blessing of being consistent. And I see that in your life.
Yep.
And so let's talk a little bit about challenges.
Okay.
Because obviously, and I know this for a fact, that if you're going to do anything significant in life, you're going to face a lot of challenges. And you being so young, you're only 18, senior in high school. Okay, so I'm wrong. 17. All right, so younger than what I thought. And by the way, I want to go ahead and say this now. She's the youngest guest on this show and youngest entrepreneur that's ever been on this show. So whoop, whoop, I had to throw that in there. So you're 17-year-old phenomenon, entrepreneur, but 4.26 GPA. I didn't even know GPAs could get that high. And so that means that you're taking honors and AP classes, and you're a PK as well.
Yeah.
And so we're going to talk a little bit about those things. So, kind of talk about the challenges, one, that you face actually challenging yourself with AP classes, honors classes, and then, of course, you have all your other activities that go on outside of school as well. So talk about some of the challenges between those two, and how did you remain on top of your game?
Okay. So I think one of the main challenges that I faced / am facing throughout high school and throughout all the things that I do is time management. Yeah. I've just never, I don't know, maybe it's in my genes, I don't know, but I've never been a good manager of my time, and so I feel like that is the biggest challenge that I found in doing things having to do with my business, doing schoolwork, being at the church all the time,
right.
Everything like that is just figuring out when I'm going to do everything. But once I do figure it out, I can stick to it. And so I think that is definitely a key to being successful if you're going to be juggling so many things. But yeah, I would definitely say that's my biggest challenge is
time management.
Yeah.
Okay. Now,
on top of that.
You said you hit the hammer on the nail when you said PK. You're at the church all the time. And one of the challenges that I face, and let's kind of jump into a spirituality for a second. One of the challenges that I faced in my life after I started going to a Christian school is that around church events, I hear Jesus or God all the time. Even times when you don't even want to hear. You hear it all the time. So how are you able to stay spiritually strong in your personal life while being so involved in the church and around the church all the time consistently?
I think that's actually a really good question.
Oh, thank you. The young phenomenon said that I had a good question, so I feel honored.
It makes me think, But I would definitely say that one thing that my parents have always stressed in my sister and I in being PKs, because my dad is a PK, he's always stressed that your spirituality is bigger than the religion.
Yeah.
So the being in church and singing on the choir, being in praise dance, all those things are amazing. But if your spiritual foundation isn't there, then it is possible and very likely that your ministry won't be as strong. And so I feel like a lot of times the praying that I do outside of church, or the spiritual talks that I have with my mom and my dad outside of the church, many times, and I might get in trouble for saying this, many times
keep it real, Shaquille.
Right, are the things that keep my spirituality so strong. And I guess you could say the church, being in church, is a supplement to the things that go on at home.
Wow.
And so then when I get in the choir and I do praise dance and all that kind of stuff, I'm able to then pour out because of a lot of the pouring in that goes into me at home.
Man, I feel like jumping out the room right now. Gosh. Did you guys just hear that? Whew. Okay, wow. So, and that's something that is very, very, very important, because I think that one of the biggest mistakes that people make, and one of the biggest mistakes that I made, was allowing the outside, what I've been involved in and my activities, in the body of Christ, to become my relationship with God. And then I started losing that personal touch.
Yeah.
And my personal touch became a public touch. And so what you said was off the wall. God, so for me to have a challenging question, you hit the answer out the park.
Thanks.
So, being a PK, I definitely have to ask this, because being a PK, all the things that people say. PKs are the wildest ones.
Yeah.
Let's just keep it real here. Pastor, don't kill me. I just gotta ask. People say that PKs are the wildest ones, and you're kind of thrown into attention without being asked for.
Yeah.
Attention is automatically on you because of who your father is and because of who your mother is. It's kind of like, you being born into that. So what were some of the personal challenges that you faced being a PK, and some of the challenges, like I said, some of the personal challenges that you faced while being a PK?
Okay. So some of the personal challenges that I have faced and I do face being a PK. Number one,
we got numbers.
Yeah, we do got numbers. That's how my brain works,
Got you.
Number one, I guess what stands out in my brain the most is that I'm always at church.
You're always at church.
Which can be very annoying at times. And not even just being in like church services all the time, but just like sitting around the church for hours on end, just sitting there. That can be very, like, sometimes I just feel like, okay, I can be at home doing something completely different. Like, I can be at home doing homework, but no, we're at church. But, then we always bring our homework to church and everything like that. There's things to make that a little bit better. But another personal challenge that I faced in being a PK is, I guess, just the stereotypes of being a PK. Like I told you before, my parents, they're very careful, I guess you could say, of how much they try to impress, like, God and religion on us. While we are a spiritual household. We do believe in God. We serve God.
Yes.
My parents are very flexible in what they allow us to do. They allow us to, like, go out with our friends, all that kind of stuff. And so I think that a lot of people, they're like, oh, your dad's a pastor, you're not going to be allowed to do this. I'm like, are you sure? Like, okay. Or they're like, you listen to that? Really? But your dad's a pastor.
Right,
like,
right.
Okay. And so I think just dealing with those different stereotypes. Are there any more challenges? And then obviously just being in the spotlight and having things said about you.
Right.
Or, I don't know, things said about you, things said about your parents. And another thing that my parents have taught us is to have a thick skin because of the attention that is put on us all the time.
Yeah.
And so we've been taught from a young age how to field different questions or how to respond to things being said about us or things being done to us, all that kind of stuff. So
wow, that is amazing. You know, in this field, especially with business, not only just being a pastor's kid, but especially business, and anytime that you're going to do something of significance, it's kind of a must to have thick skin. And you've been taught that at a young age, which tells me that your parents already knew you were going to be doing things big like this. They already knew. So, and I want to ask this last question so that we can jump into the Q&A session. One of my favorite scriptures, matter of fact, my favorite scripture, somebody asked me this last week, what was my favorite scripture? And I said Romans 8:28, which is, and we know all things work together for the good, for those who are called, those who love God, who are called according to his purposes. And obviously you face a lot of challenges just by being a pastor's kid. You know, you have, like you mentioned, there's attention on you, you're in the spotlight, even when you don't ask for it. You're automatically in the spotlight. People say things about you. People say things about your family. You know, there might be even things on the internet or on the news about your family that may be untrue, and then it affects you. Yeah. How do you think that all of those challenges has helped you become who you are today?
Okay. So how do I... All right. I think that, like I said, it has helped me to develop a thick skin from a pretty young age.
Right.
I also think that it's allowed me to just see the bigger picture in so much. Like, it's helped me to not get caught up in certain drama that every girl goes through in high school. I feel like I've been, I guess, able to avoid so many things because I don't have to react to every little thing.
Right.
Just because I've been exposed to that outside of school for so long that I don't need to respond to everything. I don't need to get involved in drama, all that kind of stuff. So I definitely think that it's taught me to see the bigger picture, to be able to kind of field off certain things that I know aren't going to benefit me and just march toward what I know will benefit me.
Are you sure that you're 17?
I'm positive.
You sure you're not?
For about 3 more weeks. Yep, I'm positive.
You sure you're not 56?
I'm
talking about wisdom, not by looks. I'm talking about wisdom. You sure you're not 56?
I'm sure. Yep.
Gosh, I mean, I learned so much just by sitting beside Bryonna, and that is why I have her on the show, because you guys, we all need to hear this. This is very important. She's 17, and she's been taught so much as a child, and the Bible talks about it. Train up a child the way he ought to go, and when he gets older, when she gets older, in this case, she will not depart from it. And you have not departed from those lessons that your parents taught you. So now, let's get into the part of the show where we start answering some questions. So I'm going to...
Can I interrupt you real quick?
Oh, go right ahead. Matter of fact, Bree has a special announcement, so I'm going to let her go right ahead and take care of it. Before that, okay.
I have a gift for the Keeping It Real with Shaquille production team.
What? Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. Look at this. You guys see this? This is what you call love. Oh, I'm going to turn my head up when I go. I'm not even going to look. Matter of fact, I'm going to look. Listen here. I'm going to take the whole thing out. Oh, wait a minute. Put this right here. Whoa. So I got some stickers, so I'm definitely posting this all over my iPhone. Definitely doing that. What else I have?
That's for the show.
Oh, so this is for the executive producer. A tank top. Get out of here. Get out of here. All right, so I'm going to have to borrow this from her since it's for her. And then I have a lovely 3 Musketeers and a couple of Hershey Kisses because I love chocolate. And then I have my very own special Cloud 11 pen. And so, wow, since you did that, I figured I might as well do something for you too. Yes, so guys, stay right there. I have a special gift for you. First and foremost, I want to give you your own t-shirt. There's purpose in your pain. And so I want to give you your own t-shirt. And then last but not least, I have this lovely gift for you.
That's so cool.
So guys, I got to move this beautiful bag out the way. I have this beautiful flyer frame for her, and it is all for her. And I picked this frame out just for you because I figured that you'll like it because it kind of looks like a cheetah. Kind of like cheetah skin a little bit. And you know what? I think it looks good. What do you think about it?
I love this.
So you got that, and then you have your own t-shirt right here. So we hooked you up.
Thank
Just
you.
how you hooked us up, you
Yeah.
hooked up. We hooked you up. So
Yeah.
we do the hookups over here. So guys, let's go ahead and jump into the questions. And so I'm going to ask my ED to go ahead and pass me that telephone so I can see all the questions that's been coming in. And then last but not least, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try on some Cloud 11 hair care. So this can go on your hair, but it can also go on your skin too.
Yep.
All right, so, I got a few waves in here, and so I've been keeping my hair dry for a few days just to see how well it's going to work, which since you created it, it doesn't have a choice but to work. It's going to be tremendously great. Believe me.
Jack.
All right, so we have a lot of reaction here, so let's just go ahead and jump on in and try to see where a question is at. So, guys, make sure to ask questions right now. We're getting ready to answer them right now. So, all right, so my lovely sister-in-law, let's see here. Let's see what she says. So she says this. Mika says this. How did you come up with the name Cloud 11?
Okay. So I came up with the name Cloud 11 because, as everyone knows, Cloud 9 is commonly seen as, a state of bliss and happiness and everything like that. And so in my brain, I said Cloud 10 is knowledge, right?
Okay.
So then Cloud 11, to me, is a combination of those, happiness and knowledge. And I want my customers to be both happy and satisfied with their hair as well as knowledgeable about their hair.
Go, girl! Woo! You know what? Purpose with your name. Everything that she said has purpose. And that kind of reminds me of the t-shirt. There's purpose in your pain. So when you go through challenging times, there's purpose. But let me get back into the questions. You got me getting ready to scream hallelujah out here. All right, so your lovely dad, Byron J. Elliott, said, how did you come up with the name for you? Well, you just answered that. So let's see here. So my lovely fiance and executive producer who is in the building tonight, along with Bryonna's lovely mom, Lady E, they're in the building here tonight. You guys can't see them, but they're here in the studio live with us. So the executive producer asks, what is one thing you're looking forward to in college?
One thing that I'm looking forward to in college is definitely branching out and trying new things, trying new foods, meeting new people, just exploring and being in touch with things that I didn't have access to here or, before then.
All right, awesome. So let's see. Your mom tuned in, Miss Lady E, and she says this. Where do you see yourself in 5 years academically, professionally, and politically?
Let's see. 5 years from now, I will probably have graduated from undergrad, be applying to med school, being applying to and / accepted to med school. I do want my business to still be growing, and most likely it'll be more of a family affair, and so we do still expect it to be in production and all that kind of stuff. Wow. Like I said, accepted to med school, on my way to med school. If not in my first year, hold on, let me do the math. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I think I'll be my first year, finishing my first year of med school. Okay. In 5 years. Let's see, what else? Did it say politically?
Yep, so, politically.
I don't know what that means.
Well,
I guess just like, I don't know.
Well, you know what? It's all right. Matter of fact, give it your best guess.
Okay. Let's see. I think, well, if you know me, you know that I am very, I guess, strong in my opinions or where I stand on certain things.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I do like volunteering with certain community aspects of the community and events and everything like that. So probably, I guess, still volunteering at different election sites and all that kind of stuff.
All right, awesome. All right, so that means you're going to help me when I run for president in 2040.
Yep.
All right, awesome. So I just made the big announcement. All right, so now, Byron J. Elliott tunes in. He says, "How much does your product cost?"
Each jar is $12.
So guys, you can get this for $12, and I have to ask, where can they purchase this at?
So I have a website. It is www.cloud11hair.com. And so you can head over there, and the original price is $12. But tonight, for all the viewers, I actually have a discount code.
What?
So, yep.
All right.
And
Woo!
it's Shaq's own personal discount code. So it is Shaq15, SHAQ15, and you'll get 15% off your order.
Wow. Okay, guys, make sure you go online right now and order some of this beautiful, lovely, and it works, Cloud 11 hair care. You guys get a 15% discount with the code. And say it again. It's
Shaq15, SHAQ15, Shaq15.
You know, we've been talking about this all night, and I know we're in the middle of questions, but I'm just gonna jump in front of all the questions for a second because I have a special announcement. I'm actually gonna try some of this on tonight. Okay. In front of the audience. So, guys, you know what? I got a few ways. Huh?
A little bit goes a long way.
All right, a little bit goes a long way. So I'm going to ask my executive producer to go ahead and throw that brush in here. Okay, because we're going to see this Cloud 11 work. So we got the brush right here. We got the Cloud 11 right here. All right, guys, you see my hair pretty good? All right, so I'm going to brush a little bit. All right, that's before. So just a little bit goes a long way. Okay, that's a message within itself, ain't it? So I'm going to take a little bit here. I'm going to do a little, all right, there we go. I'm going to rub it in. Wow, look at that. Guys, you guys see that? I'm going to do a little bit more. Just a little bit more. Because I'm feeling this right now. Because, you know what? I think I'm going to have to go online tonight and get my own 15% discount. Since my name is on it. So, smooth. Very, very smooth. Remind me not to shake your hand after the show. My forehead got all over my forehead and it looks a little greasy like they put anointing oil on it. But, guys, you see that? You see how the waves just got all shiny and smooth? This works, and you can use it on your skin. Mm-hmm. Wow, so my elbows would have asked you that. That's what the audience is telling me, so I'm going to go ahead and throw some on my elbows. So, guys, let's get back into the questions. So, once more, make sure you go online and order tonight, only tonight, cloud11.com.
Cloud11hair.com.
Cloud11hair.com, and the special code is Shaq15 for Keepin Real with Shaquille because she's on here tonight.
Yep.
Yes. All right, awesome. So, let's keep scrolling down. Let's see what other questions do we have here. So, Miss Ashley Christina says, do you make the product yourself?
Yes, I do.
All right. So, that answers that.
Yep.
All right. So, Miss Amy Davis tunes in and says, where do you get your motivation and determination from?
Okay. So, I think a lot of just what I've touched on before is that my parents are a huge they're a huge part of my motivation and determination. But I'll definitely say that because of the way that I guess I was raised when I was younger, I have a lot of intrinsic motivation. So, like, they don't have to tell me to do certain things anymore. Obviously, this is my business. I have to get up and make the product myself. I have to go and make sure that the website is updated and so on and so forth. And so I think that a lot of it just comes from within, number one. And number two, I am very passionate about it. Everyone knows I am passionate about hair. And so the fact that I want other people to be happy with their hair and be comfortable with their hair, it really is a motivator. And when you have something that you feel that passionately and strongly about, you want to do what you got to do to make sure that what you need to get done gets done.
Wow. And so you actually said something that my favorite motivational speaker, Eric Thomas, said, turn your passion into a profit. Mm-hmm. Wow, that is awesome. And so actually we're going to run out of time. We're probably already over time, I think so. So we're only going to answer 3 more questions, and then we're going to call it a night, guys, because we got to run. So we're laughing because it says here, so Byron J. Elliott says, what is the best church on Podcast Street? Rivermont Baptist Church. RBC is a place to be. All right, so let's see here. So let's keep going down.
When did you start?
Okay, so Carl Dean says, when did you start this product?
So I originally started formulating the product in the summer of 2015, and then I officially launched my business in March of 2016.
Awesome. And so, let's see here. And then Ashley Christina says, what's used to make the product? Is it all natural?
Yes, it is all natural. Actually, on the jar it says no mineral oil, sulfates, parabens, silicones, phthalates, gluten, or paraffin. And I use shea butter, coconut oil, and olive oil to make the product, and that is it.
And that is it. So, guys, that is it. And one last thing before we end the show. If you had one thing to say to the audience to inspire them, what would that be?
This is going to sound super cliche, but if you put your mind to it, you can get it done. And that goes with any aspect. I apply that to my business. I apply that to my school. I apply that to my personal life. I apply it to my relationship with God. If you want something to happen, it'll get done if you put your mind to it and you make it happen. And I guess just kind of in addition to that, something that has been, I guess it's just kind of been my daily motto lately, and it's helped me to field a lot of the stress that comes with senior year, is that don't stress out over everything, and that God is in control, your life is in God's hands, and you'll be okay.
Man, well, Breezy, I have some breaking news for you. Breezy, this episode actually topped and made history for the most live watched views.
Nice.
So, guys, give it up. Thank you guys for tuning in. Breezy, thank you so much for
No problem.
BBCG. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you. So, guys, make sure that you thank Breezy for coming in tonight. Guys, make sure that you go online tonight, okay? And this is an offer only for tonight, 15% discount. Cloud11haircare.com. The special
Cloud11hair.com.
All right, Cloud11hair. All right, Cloud11hair.com, and the special code is Shaq15. Mm-hmm. I feel special because I'm a special code now. So, guys, it's all natural. Give it up for this phenomenal young lady. She's 17 years old, and she is on her way. She's been on her way, and she's continuously on her way. And, guys, I know that a lot of young people are watching the show, but also we have people of all age groups, whether in their 40s, getting 50s, getting ready to go through the midlife crisis, or whatever the case may be. We have a lot of viewers from all different age ranges who watch the show, and they are very inspired. And I believe everything that you said tonight, it literally is going to make and impact somebody's life. So thank you, Bree, for being on the show. Hope you enjoyed the gift. I'm going to enjoy the gift. I got the pen, and my fiance got the, she got this, and I got the pen, but it's all love because I'm going to wear this anyway. Cloud11 Hair Care. Cloud11 Hair Care, guys. Give it up for Bryonna, Elliott. We're going to see you guys next week, but until then, have a blessed weekend. Be safe. We love you. Any last thing you want to say?
I think I said all that I need to say.
She said all she had to say. So, guys, give it up for her. Make sure to go purchase some Cloud11 Hair Care. Keep supporting her and her vision. And we're actually going to have you back some point in time. I don't know when, but I'm going to just say it right now. We got to have you back because this is beyond phenomenal. So, guys, thank you for the love. Have a great weekend, and we will see you next week with more Keeping It Real with Shaquille. We Inquire to Inspire. God bless.